Hi, my name is Heather, and today I'm going to share with you over 15 ways that you can increase your page count for your children's book. If you're struggling to reach the minimum page count for your children's book, then I'm here to help you because you may have a great story with great illustrations, but if it's not enough pages, how are you going to make it into a children's book? There are a lot of ways to add more pages to your book that are useful, interesting, fun, more exciting, and I'm going to share those with you today. The first example I have is the simplest and easiest solution, and it doubles your page count. And that would be just to add a blank page between each page in your book. Now, this doesn't put a whole blank page. You're not going to have a blank piece of paper. You're basically just going to have blank on the left and whatever's in your book on the right. And as you can see, I do this for some of my coloring books, and that way you don't have to worry about the color bleeding through the page. But you can do it for a regular children's book too. Do you really need to have illustrations on both pages? No. You can just have the user looking on the right side and going through the book that way. Another option is to put text on its own page in your book. You may have text on every page that has an illustration on it, and you could literally double the pages in your book if you just pull that text out and put it on a separate page in your book. I actually did this for a client a while back because he wanted a hardcover version of his book, and his book was only about like 30 something pages. So I took the text out of each page and put it on the left, and then I put the illustration on the right. And this doubled the amount of pages in his book. Another thing you could do with blank pages is just add a few of them to your book. Obviously, don't go overboard with this, but if you add one or two, then that's okay. Here's an example. In this book, Miriam's First Ramadan, if we go to the end, you can see that there are a couple blank pages at the end of the book here. And again, don't go overboard with this, but if you need to add a couple blank pages in your book, that's not a big deal. Another option is to include a cute pattern in the front, back, or the front and back of the book. Here's an example. In Kendall and Bailey's Playday Adventure, the last two pages of the book are this cute little pattern here with the bows and the paw prints, which are just some imagery that is from the inside of the book. And in this book, The Bored Elephant, there's this really cute pattern of the elephant and the bee. So these are just totally random pages just in the front or back of the book, and they just have a cute pattern on them. And they just make the book more fun. Now, some of the more standard things that you'll find in books will add to the page count in your book. Some people have asked me, does the copyright page count for the page count? Does the cover page count? And it does. Here's an example of the cover page for The Bored Elephant. It just has the title and the written and illustrated, and then it has like a little bit of imagery from the book. You can either do that or you can just do a copy of the cover. Here's another book with a cover page. It's Ginger Searches for the Perfect Valentine. And this cover page just has a pattern with hearts around it and the name of the book and the author's name. In this book, Related by Love, we have the book belongs to, the dedication, and a special message from the author. The book belongs to is a really cute extra page that you can add to your book that just makes it more personal for the person who's going to own the book. They can write their name in there. And then a dedication page also will take up an extra page. And this is just a little kind of message from the author. It kind of just talks about what the message of the book is. And I've seen ones also where it'll have kind of a little introduction to the book or a little summary of the book. So those are some really good ways that you can add some extra pages to your book. In The Adventures of Titan by Karen Copeland, we have an example of a really cute dedication page. On this dedication page, it's more general. It's not to a specific person, and it's to dreamers of all ages, and there's a little blurb there. And then we also have a little illustration of the main character here. In Trudy's Tippity Tower of Toys by Susan D. Adams, and I actually illustrated this book, I wanted to show you an example of a This Book Belongs To page. For this one, I just took some random illustrations from in the book. The book is all about toys and organizing your toys, so I just grabbed a bunch of different random toy illustrations and kind of scattered them around. I like to do stuff like this because I feel like it makes what could be a very plain and boring page into something really fun and cute and exciting. And then, of course, we have about the author and about the illustrator. So those are 2 more pages that you can add. In this T is for Tiger book, here's an example of about the illustrator. So we have a picture of her and something that she's illustrated, and then a little paragraph about her. In this book, The Shy Little Cloud Finds New Friends, we have a page here with a picture of the author/illustrator and a little message from him and his email address in case you want to contact him. Another example of something that can really add a lot of pages to your book are character profiles. In the book Goal by Mike Allen, there are character profiles in the back, and I thought this was a great way to just add a little something extra to the book and also increase the page count. You can also add little activities in the book. So in this book, Little Frog Tales by Leanne Nips, in the back of the book, there's a little drawing exercise here, how to draw a frog, which I think is adorable. And I've also seen mazes and puzzles in some books, as well as discussion questions that prompt the reader to think about what they've read and answer some questions about it. And you can also include coloring pages that relate to the book. That would be a good way to add some extra pages and add some fun at the end of the book. Also in T is for Tiger, we have some informational pages in the back of the book that I think are so cool. After going through all the letters of the alphabet and the animals that are associated with those letters, there's this page that has all the letters of the alphabet and animals starting with those letters and where they live in the world. And then we have a map of the world to show those different places that the animals live. I think this is such a great way to make the book even more educational and to have the child keep learning even after they've read the whole book. You can also include a page with other books by the same author. So in The Brave Little Tooth, if we go to the end of the book, then there's this page which shows another book by that same author. I also have that in my book, Platy's Perfect Day, where I have more books by Heather Cash and the covers of the books there, and then I have a QR code that you can scan to go to my Amazon page. Another example is that if you have a bilingual book or a book with like special words in it, then you can have definitions or translations in the back of the book. An example of that is We Love Nacho. This book has some Spanish words in it, so there are Spanish translations in the back. Here are the Spanish translations. The Spanish translations are up at the top here, and then there are some phrases down here, and there are also pictures of some shelter dogs. And these are the real dogs that the characters in the book were based on. So I think that's a really cute extra thing you can do as well. Also in the book Pedro the Lucky Racing Pigeon, which I'm still waiting for it to come in the mail, but that book is also a multilingual book and it has some Spanish words in it, so there are definitions in the back of that one as well. And there's also a page with photos of the pigeon that inspired the story. And the last thing that I wanted to show you was that you can combine multiple stories into one book. So if you have some really short stories, maybe they're for very young kids, and they're very short and simple, then you can combine them into one book like this one, Little Frog Tales by Leanne Nips. This book actually has 3 stories in it. And between each story, she put a cover page to kind of have the cover of the story. So the one story is the dog, and notice that they're all related because the story about the dog does have a frog in it. So these are all different frog tales. And then there's Frog Song and The Jar. And then another thing you could add is a little The End page. So that can also add an extra page to your book. And as you can see, Leanne made a little illustration here for it. So it makes it really cute and a nice little ending to the book. That's it for this video. I hope these ideas help you reach your minimum page count for KDP. And of course, feel free to share your project in my Creativity Club on Facebook. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Or as always, you can email me at heather@heathercash.com. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so I know to make more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!